This is the Tree of Life, Season 26, Chapter 7. In this episode, we will be talking about the balance between affirmational and negational rhythms or cycles. In Season 26, Chapter 3, we talked about affirmational and negational rhythms. We mentioned that the sexual cycle and sleep cycle are affirmational rhythms, while the urination cycle and digestive cycle are negational rhythms. There are two components to the urination and digestive cycles, however: the ingestion cycle and the excretion cycle. Only the excretion cycles are negational. Their counterparts, the ingestion of water and the ingestion of food, are affirmational cycles. In Season 20, Chapter 1, we talked about how affirmational cycles become regular by reverse substitution events, while negational cycles become regular by substitution events. Thus, there must be balance between the affirmational and negational components of an overall rhythm. When negational rhythms are superior, you see loss of body mass and territoriality accumulation. That is, there is a shift to kinetic energy leading to infinite recursion, which, as we saw in Season 26, Chapter 5, is governed by the more purtuous least action principle. The compelling of acquiescence at the conclusion of sequential substitution prevents this accumulation. Balance between the negational and affirmational components of each rhythm is governed by Hamilton's least action. That is, all physical information about a system, including the forces acting upon it, is preserved by Hamilton's Lagrangian. The reason why Hamilton's action principle does not apply in the superiority of negational rhythms is because the system described is not closed but rather open. There is no balance between the potential and kinetic components of the Lagrangian. Now, due to the stacking of perceptual experiences in both forms of substitution event, the physical constraints, which define our interactions with others, only become apparent in light of the kind of substitution event. For example, as an outgoing consciousness, our actions are not anchored to our vessel, though our perceptions are. Just as, in substitution events, our agency is anchored to our vessel, though our perceptions are not. In both cases, the constraints that we observe upon our communication with others is a reflection of the constraints on the physical vessel, or on our physical vessel, which we are unaware of. This means, for example, that we may only see a friend once every week for 1 hour a week, going about our day the rest of the time, working from home, while in fact we are in jail, and that weekly visit is taking place during scheduled visits in a meeting room. The point is that often the actual constraints on our experiences are those of the actual location where we are in substitution events, or they are constraints upon the vessel we are inhabiting, reverse substitution events. This means that the balance between the affirmational rhythms and negational rhythms preserve the balance between our perceptions and our actual environment. The affirmational rhythms do this by terminating substitution events, or initiating reverse substitution events, just as the negational rhythms disrupt this balance by initiating substitution events and terminating reverse substitution events. In other words, the fact that your experiences match the constraints upon your vessel, in either reverse substitution or substitution events, in the present is a reflection of the balance between your affirmational and negational rhythms. That's the end of the podcast for today.